Walk to work. Today is worse. I have not gone into work. I have not even passed by the building. I started walking to work out the crinks and creaks and let out the butterflies. Only when I stopped to rest on a sandy step did I have trouble going on. A pain began in my knee. I was holding my arm, my elbow, tight against my body, but the shoulder curled up as if to scoop and collect falling rain in a crook beside my neck. This is how the body demands of me. It is not enough to ache in one place. A spasm is always accompanied by a cramp. Darkness has already fallen and the moon risen. I turn toward the water. I feel the heat of the sun reflected off the moon, waving the invisible little hairs on my cheeks. I imagine miniature creatures of the sea, whose very minuteness attunes them to the pitches and throes of the sun's faintest light. They live in two oceans, one of luminance, one of wet. My oceans are lurch and crouch. The promenade has been dipped in silver halide, and the river mercury. Moonlight has recast the earthscape. The wooden planks are silver, gray, old wise wood pointing like fishermen toward the far shore. I lay out the office on the pier. Once I orient the elevators plunging into the river, everything finds its place and everyone comes into work. All the benches are replaced by desks, and walls shoot up from the cracks between the planks and throw their shoulders together. People percolate through like algae in a tidal pool. Here's my desk. The chair seems so small if I take my eyes off it even for a moment. As I go to sit down, it will disappear. I sit and impose the day labor on this night shift. The whole scene is fragile, beaming down from the moon. A cloud will wipe everyone away, leaving little curls and balls of shiny tumbleweed, just like a pink eraser drawn over white paper. As dawn approaches, I prepare for even greater devastation. Instead of scurrying into the dark mouths of the subway at dawn, the office workers clamber into the mist at the end of the pier and depart on ghost ships. During the day, the promenade is littered with couples, sitting like dumb popsicles, upturned on the benches. Only couples feel useful on a lonely pier. Instead of long, soft fingers curled in my hand, I'm still carrying the brief I could have delivered this Monday morning meeting. Without quitting the job, I have forsaken it. The boss is a connoisseur of absence, absent-mindedness, abstinence, absenteeism. If I trip on a hole in the ground, he slips into it like a new sock. He is one of those maniacs whose agreeable first impression is doomed and cutlassed by his every subsequent gesture. He might offer me a piece of cake, or what should be called chunk, because there is no frosting and no plate. I use my own supply of napkins that have been molded by perspiration from the long journeys of my pocket. I don't want to cut my hand on the shiny printer paper that accompanies chunk. But work is just like this. You sit together like intimates on the pier to finally talk about who you are and where you're going. And just at that moment, its eyes fall out of its head and roll plop, plop into the water. Go on, says work. Oh, are you all right? You say, raising a hand to protect your eyes from being sucked into the pits. Mm-hmm, says work. A delicate voice floats up through the grating, chasing away the mist and brightening the sky. The train is being held in the station. Quick! I throw myself in a shambles, down the stairs into the subway and stop. Two men discuss affairs at the head of the stair. Centurions passing the hour, chewing leaves. The train takes them away. I watch them go, and with the relief of someone who's been waiting all day and all night for this, my single moment alone. Without a murmur, pain grinds at the bone in my leg. I focus all my mental power on this magic task. Summon the train. Will it travel in the correct direction? There are two tracks, two ways to go, either or. In the train station, you can only go one way at a time. All choices are between pairs of opposites. I sway, my body overtaken by the force of concentration. A horrible scream answers my call. Here comes the train! So I will remember the day I summoned a train. I board. The train goes in the direction I call forward. And now, there's nothing left for me to decide but on or off. If only this lesson of the train could be illustrated in my book of rules, I will have accomplished with pictures what I otherwise only accomplish through action.